Welcome to the Vault Excel. This is a three-part live. Going to rehash Puffy trial day 25. Um, Tyler Perry. There is a $260 million lawsuit for sexual harassment, sexual assault, and then R. Kelly overdose. I'm going to start with Sean Puffy Combs. The prosecution basically was going over text messages from about 2012 between Cassie Ventura and Sean, showing how she was upset that he had put his hands on her at the Intercontinental Hotel, how he had been mistreating her. She wasn't a rag doll. And that was the latest pertaining to court, the 25th, which would have been 25 days, day 25. Just in going over rehashing things, trying to build a racketeering case of coercion into the sex trafficking and the racketeering charge. And a lot of people, have been very confused about this charge, but it's basically dealing with drugs, any type of selling, harboring drugs, bribery, blackmail, coercion. That is what is considered a RICO charge. And that is one of the charges against Puffy is racketeering, human trafficking, and engaging in prostitution by transportation, which I feel like they have made that case. Once again, you can argue, well, he went to the hotel to do whatever. You can't prove that he paid for prostitutes on a certain night, but they have hotel receipts. That's another thing that was mentioned yesterday. They do have hotel receipts showing nights that he was engaging in prostitution with various people and naturally paying the retainer fee to get the room, damages in the hundreds. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the fact you're being charged so much to clean up a room when, as everyone loves to say, it's a hotel staff's job to clean up room. But the point is, nobody wants to be cleaning up body fluids and, blood and baby oil off of items. Doesn't matter what the item is, if it's a desk, if it's a chair. And anybody knows that you can't get oil and grease out of fabric. It's just common sense. You can't do it. So basically, you have to throw the item out or replace it. So that was the latest from Monday, Tuesday's events. Just going over testimony from a special agent from the U.S. Attorney's Office of flight logs, flight itinerary, hotel receipts, Cassie's old text messages to Sean back and forth between the two, and showing that she really didn't want to be abused by this man, but yet she still kept going back. So that's the latest. And also, court was adjourned yesterday. There's some more shenanigans with a juror. Another juror has some fuddy-duddy business going on. A male received a text message that asking him, was he juror number 6? As most of you know, on Monday, juror number 6 got removed because he was not candid about his living arrangements and his actual address. And they also believe that he had spoken to someone about the trial. Now, did he speak to somebody about the trial? I don't know. But I believe his phone was seized last week in court. So maybe they saw some information on his phone, commentary. And the judge also issued stern warnings to the attorneys yesterday that some information has been leaked out to a newspaper, and they have published an article about what was going on in court last week. So that means somebody has been talking. So if there is only the judge and the lawyers in the room in a private meeting, then that means a lawyer went back and told something to someone pertaining to what's going on in the trial. So take your pick. You have the judge. He went back and said something to an outsider, the defense, or the prosecution. This is bad. Because it's one thing having the problems with the jury. You're upset about this one guy thinking he's talking and he got on the jury to just so he could, favor Sean or disfavor him. Then you got another jury person who is getting an anonymous message. It's just ridiculous. From somebody asking if he's juror number 6. Now we got information leaking out, a private meeting with the judge to the public. And the article obviously is repeating things verbatim that only people in the meeting would know. And so naturally, the defense could ask for a mistrial. Hell, even if they're the ones who's putting the information out. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I know I'm ready for this to end. I'm tired of talking about this case. I've been tired of talking about this case for weeks. It's boring to me because it's just a redundance of the same type of information. But I see where the prosecution is going. So don't get me wrong. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to show coercion. They're trying to show blackmail. They're trying to show this man used his company enterprise to perfect these prostitution scenarios, which I believe they've done that as well. Because then when you go back also, his company is on the credit cards. Throw that in there. That was revealed the past 2 days. His company name is on the credit card receipts for the freak-offs. So once again, he can argue all day, everything's consenting. It's still prostitution. That's what Sean and his lawyers don't seem to understand. And it's amazing how people who are supposed to know the law are still talking around prostitution. It is against the law to pay somebody for sex. It's the law. And he's done that. He's broken the law. The people engaging in the sexual activity, the prostitution, it's not consenting sex, it's prostitution. The law says it's different. The law says you cannot receive money for sex. You cannot pay for sex. That's the law. You don't like it? Take it up with the government. It is what it is. They've proven that. They've proven that. Flying the people in and out. Also, flight records. So they've got flight records. They've got hotel receipts of damage to the hotels. Paying the what I call a finder's fee just to get the damn room because they know you like to tear the rooms up, mess up the rooms, leave them nasty, soiled. So all this goes to show something ain't right. You go rent a hotel room. Why is somebody charging you a fee along with what you're paying nightly for the room? That doesn't make any sense. You're using a credit card, so what's the problem? Because you've been going to this hotel room before and you've been damaging their property. But see, I fault the hotels because you all are stupid to re-rent a room to him. You understand what I'm saying? If you left my hotel in a mess, you're not coming back a second time. You're not coming back a second time because I don't know what you might do the next time. So I would kindly tell you, thank you for your service, but due to the damage you left behind your first visit, we would kindly appreciate you take your money elsewhere. So you see, the more you listen to the stories pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs, everybody tends to act the same dealing with him. If you just see, there's a pattern. He treated his employees bad. He treated personal people working with him, assistants, sexual relationships. He dogged people out. Hotel, it's the same thing. You're going into the hotel, you're damaging the people's property, and yet you still want to go back. And they foolishly let you come back. So what they were doing is no different than Cassie, Mia, Dawn, Jane Doe, the security staff, ex-assistants. It's all the same. Everybody act like they could not deny this man. And it's so baffling that people are so thirsty for money that they'll subject themselves to this type of behavior. But we see it all the time in everyday life. You deal with people when you need a favor from them. You really don't want to deal with them, but maybe they give you a ride to work, or they pick you up from work, or you're staying in their home and you need a place to live, and you're putting up with BS that you shouldn't have to put up with just to survive. And that's what the government is trying to say, why these people hung on for dear life to this man. They were trying to survive. But the flip side of it is, look at the price you paid. You gave your integrity up to say, oh, I got a paycheck from Joe Blow. Because in the end, that's all Sean Combs is. He's a Joe Blow. He is no more special than the guy sleeping under the bridge, the guy that works at Walmart, bagging groceries, or the local Publix. He's no different. He's a regular person who's got some deviant ways. That's all. He just so happens to be wealthy. That's all. But that's what people need to understand about wealth. Having money and nice clothes does not make you a nice person. It doesn't. And we as people idolize these people because of who they are and the things that they've done. But as they said, his company hasn't made music in God knows how long. He's not even in the game in the music game, which I find very interesting too. But see, that's why I always tell people, if you pay attention to the story, it's telling on itself if you're really paying attention, if you're woke. The fact that he hasn't put out any music in a long time from his company should tell you something. That his focus wasn't on the music. You know why? Because he can't work well with people. How are you going to start a music company and then down the road you're not producing any music? So now you see what he's been doing in his spare time. Cassie told it, Jane Doe told it. They felt like they were sex workers. So I was thinking about that as the weeks went by. But what the hell has he been doing all this time besides working with these other companies, Ciroc and the Sean John label and different things? And I don't even think he's even making clothes anymore. So I was like, what has he been doing to make money? Other endeavors besides music. He can't make music because he doesn't know how to treat people. And then he tends to sleep with the people that he works with. And that's another thing I find interesting, that all these people are intricately entangled with one another. If you go back in the book, at the beginning of the trial, everybody started off with somebody else and somehow got tangled up with Sean. Cassie was with one guy, and that guy was introduced, she was introduced to Sean from the guy she was dating. Next thing you know, she's having sex with Sean. She's like, well, Sean introduces her to Kid Cudi. Next thing you know, when they're not together, she's screwing Kid Cudi. Jane Doe's friend was messing with Sean, and then she moved on, and the next thing you know, they're secretly been texting each other. So much for friendship. Do you all see what I'm saying? There's an intricate web here. Then this mystery rapper that Jane Doe flew on this jet to Las Vegas and watched somebody have sex who she's had sex with. I found that interesting. Then Sean finds out. How did he find out? See, none of this makes any sense. Because they're all connected. That's the point of the story. All these people are intricately connected. The fact that somebody's running back repeating what Jane Doe was doing and what Cassie was doing and who showed up where to a party without Sean's knowledge, blah, 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 like little kids. What is this, high school? Tattletelling on a grown person? So what? Cassie wanted to go somewhere without Sean. That's her business. She's grown. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. All these people are woven and they act like children. They're having sex with each other and they're tattletelling on each other. Why? What do you care about running to Sean to tell him his lady friend, blah, 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 was seen over here at a bar or a club? So what? This is why I was saying to myself, listening to this garbage yesterday, I said, these people are no different than people in the street. They just happen to be around other wealthy people. That is it. They're doing the same low-life shit that regular people do. Running, repeating stuff, gossiping, passing information, working for somebody they don't give a damn about them, using them, abusing them, all for a couple of dollars. Riding on the coattail of a demon to get what in the end? Get your feelings hurt. Everybody's got a story about Sean Puffy Combs. Have you noticed? And he should be sitting in that chair asking himself, how did I get here? How did I get here? But see, I don't even think he cares, even at this point, at this juncture of the road. I don't think he cares. The fact that he still was making facial gestures Monday in court when he realized juror number 6 was gone. Judge told him not to make any facial expressions, so maybe the judge missed that. His ass should be back in his cell waiting on a verdict. So this has all been transpiring in the past couple of days. Juror number 6 gone. Another juror getting a text message from an anonymous number asking if he's juror number 6. He reported to the judge, as he should have. New guy on the jury, white guy, architect 57, replaced juror number 6. Then we've got information leaking out that made it to an article. So now you got to ask if there's jury tampering. Tampering by the defense, tampering by the prosecution. Hell, tampering by the judge. I don't know. Somebody talking to Sean's peoples, whoever they may be. This is bad. But it shows you money has weight. Even from a demon, money has weight. Next subject, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is being sued by an actor, Mr. Derek Dixon, who worked on one of Tyler's TV shows, Oval Office. He's claiming sexual harassment and SA, which makes no sense to me. Because to me, this is the same MO like all these other claims that people are bringing forward against these famous people, where you keep getting a playback or a rollback of you going back in with the perpetrator. And it doesn't make any sense. Because at some point, when do you say, I'm worthy, I'm better than this, I'm not getting ready to do this for the almighty dollar? So now we're getting ready to hear a repeat of just what we've already heard with Sean, R. Kelly, Weinstein, Bill Cosby. Everybody's going back in with the person after they've done something felonious to them, allegedly. And yet you will go back in with them. Why? This is a white man, a white actor, who's claiming sexual harassment. He's suing for $260 million, which is a hefty amount of money. And what people are going to say to themselves, well, you should have made some money, number one, from the show. Number two, why would you keep working with Tyler Perry if he was sexually harassing you, sending you messages, groping you, touching you? Why did you end up staying in his guest house after he originally sent you some sexual texts? And even in the article that I read where he says he wasn't a sexual being or whatever, that didn't make any sense. So what are you saying? You don't like men, you don't like women? You were abstinent at the time of the advances? Stop this nonsense. I won't doubt the two have done something, perhaps. But once again, you got to prove it. You got to prove it. And Tyler Perry is never going to say he's been with a man. Many people have speculated over the years that he's homosexual. I will admit I thought he was, and I'll tell you why. Not that it matters, but it does matter if you're perpetrating and saying that you're not. That is a problem, because you're going out here being with women when you know you really like men. So hell yeah, that is a problem. In the movie, Why Did I Get Married? There's a scene where he's coming down the stairs and he's wearing this very tight fitted shirt. And I don't know why, but that scene always comes back to my mind when I realized in my mind that he was gay. It was something about the shirt. And it just comes back to me. That scene in the movie where he's coming down the stair landing and I'm looking at him like, wait a minute, Queen, what the hell's going on here? It just hit me like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. I said, this man is gay. Now, whether he is or not, that's his preference. But as I said before, if you're living a lie, then yes, that's a problem. Because when you get entangled with people, they're assuming you are who you say you are. So he's been with a woman, got a kid. It does matter. Because if you're with a woman, she's sleeping with you without a condom, and you're perpetrating as a heterosexual male, hell yeah, that is an issue. So is this man gay? Number one. Number two, has he been sexually been inappropriate with his staff members, people in passing? Has he been touching, groping, making derogatory comments, sexual advances and commentary? What has Tyler Perry been doing behind closed doors? And then many people will judge him anyway. Any man that could dress up in a wig all day long, a dress, lipstick, makeup, one would say, hell, why would you be shocked that he's possibly homosexual? Just saying. Some will say it's acting. Some will say, well, it went on too long. And then all the flack he got over the years pertaining to the commentary of the plays, the movies, a lot of people feel like it's not real acting. You're entitled to your opinion. But as I said, the plays, the movies went on for some time, him dressing up as Medea. I think at some point he became tired of doing that as well. Just throwing this out here. But he did receive a lot of flack from certain people who, the critics, the movie critics, who felt like the Medea acting became redundant, let's say. It became old and redundant. And it wasn't serious TV, rather. Wasn't considered serious TV. Some would say, well, they were throwing a black man under the bus. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just throwing that out there for commentary. Let's hear this nonsense about Tyler Perry. Well, I think I'm going to go to R. Kelly because I've got R. Kelly queued up.
A lawyer for R. Kelly told me live on this program that someone is trying to kill his client in prison. He even outlined an alleged contract on R. Kelly's head, which makes today's news just a little jarring, to say the least. R. Kelly, real name Robert Kelly, was rushed to the hospital on Friday, allegedly having been overdosed with his own prison medication. His attorney, Bo Brindley, joins me live now, again with the details. Welcome back to the show, Bo. So, wow, you said it, and then within days, something odd happened. What was it actually that happened on Friday to your client, R. Kelly?
Well, it was Thursday evening when he was administered his anxiety and sleeping medication in solitary confinement. So he got the medication on Thursday, as usual. He has to have it administered because this is prison and he's in solitary. So he wakes up early Friday morning. He's feeling faint. He sees black spots. He tries to stand. He collapses. He crawls to the door of his cell and loses consciousness. When they get him on the gurney, the prison officials didn't think they want to take him to the medical center there at the facility on site. But that facility was not able to treat him, and they took him off-site to Duke University Hospital, where he was diagnosed with an overdose, having received basically 2 times the necessary dosage and the appropriate dosage of his medication. And then while there, Mr. Kelly outlined his concerns about blood clots in his legs. A scan was done by the hospital, and they found blood clots in both legs and in his lungs, and wanted to do a procedure to address that and keep him in the hospital for 7 days. He was given a treatment plan. Within an hour, officers came in who had custody of Mr. Kelly, and as we were told, they came in with not just handguns at their sides, with actual AR-15 style rifles, removed him from the hospital without the procedure, without the surgical intervention that they said he needed, and they returned him to solitary confinement, where he sits today with blood clots in his lungs. Given what happened last week and all the skepticism that was met with, even here on the show, I noted your skepticism, I understand. But the prison officials themselves now seem to be removing any doubt that I have that this is real and it's happening in real time.
And the skepticism, of course, is because the allegation is that it's the Bureau of Prisons, the federal government, trying to kill your client, which I think a lot of people would meet with healthy skepticism. But I guess my next question would be, given this pattern of facts that you just laid out, do you have doctors and medical professionals at Duke that would be willing to testify that they wanted to treat R. Kelly and that the Bureau of Prisons refused that and took him out at gunpoint?
Sources at Duke University Hospital has confirmed for us that Mr. Kelly was there, that Mr. Kelly was forcibly removed, that Mr. Kelly was treated for an overdose, and that there was treatment needed for blood clots. We do have that information. What we are trying to obtain is the medical records that support it, many of the necessary waivers signed by Mr. Kelly, which is not easy as he sits in solitary confinement. I want to see him tomorrow. I'm going to get the executed waivers. I'm going to have those medical records in my hands as soon as possible. But I do have confirmation that what Mr. Kelly is reporting did happen, as extraordinary as it is. And we are fighting very hard to get him back in the hospital and save his life.
Well, one last question. It sounds like you're planning to file a motion to vacate his conviction, quote, based on newly discovered evidence this week. Is this the issue that we're talking about as newly discovered evidence this week that you're going to hang the filing on?
Yeah. This is a threat to R. Kelly's life that we see happening right now at the hands of Bureau of Prisons officials. What we believe they are trying to prevent is the exposure of the criminal conduct by U.S. attorneys and Bureau of Prisons officers in the investigation of his federal cases in New York and Chicago. And that is what we intend to expose in our filing this week regarding newly discovered evidence that we believe will vacate Robert Kelly's conviction.
Well, let's make a date to continue the conversation. Obviously, the story is not over. I really appreciate this. Thank you, Mr. Brindley.
Thank you. I look forward to coming back. It's far from over, and we continue our fight. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That's News Nation. So, what happened with the meds? Let's start there. Why did you, whoever you are, give R. Kelly a double dose of the medicine, 2 times the recommended dosage? His blood clots in his legs, the blood clots have traveled now to his lungs. The doctor wanted to do a procedure, but guards came in, armed men, whomever, took him out and took him back to the prison to solitary confinement in North Carolina. He is also asking for help from Donald Trump to have his sentence commuted or to be, house arrest, whatsoever. Will Donald Trump intervene? Number 2, will Donald Trump intervene? Number 1, was he intentionally given meds more than the recommended dosage? Why would you do it? His lawyer says this is about the past RICO cases in New York and Chicago, that there were improprieties done by officials, lawyers. So basically he's saying these separate entities from 2 separate cities have gotten together with the prison officials to what? Tell them to kill him? That's what you're saying? Or it could just be personally, somebody don't like him in the prison. Because in the end, it's only one person that gives the meds. And that would be a nurse, nursing assistant, LPN, or registered nurse. Make it make sense. So you'd have to say all these entities have gotten together to conspire to kill R. Kelly. That doesn't make any sense to me. And yes, people do conspire. But this, to me, I don't see. Somebody from New York got somebody in from Chicago, called the prison, the warden. Hey, we want you to knock him off. They're trying to investigate us for improprieties done in his cases. And then he went and talked to the nurse and told her, the warden, hey, I need you to give him an extra set of medicine so you can kill him. Just saying. Make it make sense. Now, when a person is sick inside of a prison, jail, they are or should be allowed to get adequate medical care. Some may disagree, but it would be inhumane punishment to allow a person to not get a medical procedure or medical attention if the person is in need. So they are wrong for denying the man medical care as far as treating the blood clots. Everyone knows that blood clots can lead to death. So you are aiding in the death of the man by sending him back to the prison and not giving him the treatment he rightfully deserved at the hospital. They said he felt faint that last Friday, was seeing black spots, crawled to the door asking for help, couldn't see, I guess, passing out. So you all rushed him to the hospital, Duke. And that's where he was diagnosed with the overdose and also the blood clots in the legs and the lungs. The doctor wanted to treat him there, but he was rushed out by armored men. So you all were wrong for that, going in to take him out of the hospital once you got the diagnosis. The prison got the diagnosis. So he could sue on that grounds alone, that he was in need of care and you all denied him care by taking him out of the hospital. So you're showing that something ain't right. So you're just aiding the accusations that his lawyers are making against the prison, that you're all in cahoots with the people in New York and Chicago wanting him dead. So you taking him out from the hospital, you're aiding his case to get him released. So this is when people don't think. Whether I believe these allegations or not, you taking him out of the hospital helps fuel the fire. What is going to become of R. Kelly? Because like I said, blood clots travel. That's what they do. The clots travel from your legs to your heart. As most of you know who've had any type of swelling of feet, it's a sign, poor circulation. That's why your feet swell. And everything is connected from your feet to your heart. All that works in conjunction. So this man now has blood clots in his lungs. He's not getting any movement because he's in solitary confinement. That's probably how he got the blood clots. He's not moving around. He's not exercising. He's not, walking around. He's not moving about during the day when they open the cells because he's in solitary. So that's probably how he got the blood clots in the first place. He's not active. This is why they tell you have to get up, you have to walk, you have to move, because this is how blood clots form, especially like when you have surgery, you're in a hospital. They put the little welly things on your legs to keep your legs from, swelling or whatever, because your legs are still. It's the same thing if you stayed in a hospital for a duration. That's how blood clots form, because you're not moving. You're not getting up. You're not moving about. Was this a deliberate attempt to unalive R. Kelly? Who was the person that gave him the meds? Was it somebody new? An alternate? Didn't know. Allegedly, these meds were for anxieties and for him to sleep. What's been going on with his sleeping patterns that he couldn't sleep? He probably can't sleep because he wants out of the prison. Common sense. He doesn't want to be incarcerated. He doesn't want to die in there. 30-year sentence. Back-to-back sentences. New York, Chicago. He doesn't want to be there. Probably worried. Probably lost weight. Not sure. Allegedly, they said he was making music in there, so he was doing something. I don't know if that's true or not. So, people talk, make up stuff. I'm trying to figure out how can he be making music in solitary confinement. Because he's not talking to anybody to sing, dance. That's why I said people make up all type of crazy stuff. Next subject. Tyler Perry. Ooh, what a hot butter mess this is. Lord, this is a hot butter mess. NBC News is the source, everybody. 3-part live. Sean Puffy Combs, R. Kelly, and Tyler Perry. Next live will be pertaining to Brian C. Kohlberger. Boy, that's some hot tea brewing there as well. We now get information that there's a second person who saw Brian Kohlberger at the King Road home outside. The DoorDash driver is a woman, and she said she was parked right beside his car, and she admitted this during a DUI interrogation last year. Spilled her guts. Why? I don't know. But during this DUI stop of her car moving about on the road in a suspicious manner, she decided to say that she was the person who was there at the scene dropping off the food, and she saw Mr. Kohlberger's car. I don't know why she would tell authorities this. I can see you telling this if you got pulled over recently and you got a lot of charges against you and you're worried about being incarcerated and you got to go testify in court in August. But to tell it last year in 2024 is very bizarre to me. Maybe she was drunk, inebriated, under the influence of meds or something. She just started babbling. Very crazy information. I'll be back with that after this live stream here. Once again, NBC News is the source, everybody.
Sued for $260 million over sexual harassment allegations. The complaint filed in Los Angeles accuses Perry of creating a, quote, coercive, sexually exploitative dynamic with actor Derek Dixon. Dixon was in 2 of Tyler Perry's shows, The Oval and Ruthless. In a statement to NBC News, Perry's team says this appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam, calling the allegations fabricated claims. Let's bring in NBC's Stephen Romo, who's following this. Stephen, what more do we know about the allegations here?
Yeah, Tom, just going through those allegations in this lawsuit seeking $260 million in damages, alleging sexual harassment, assault, retaliation as well. The direct details include inappropriate touching. As you mentioned, Dixon starred in The Oval with Tyler Perry, and we got this statement from inside the complaint. Tyler Perry has been using his power and influence to molest, abuse, and sexually assault impressionable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship while pursuing their dreams. So you can read from that, implies there are more people who are alleging this than just Dixon. We have a bit of a timeline here for the relationship that we know, the professional relationship between these two men and the allegations made in this complaint, saying that they met in 2019. The lawsuit alleges that then their relationship moved forward with this professional advancement. And in 2019, Perry offering Dixon a small role in Ruthless. And then in January 2020, that is when Dixon accuses Perry of sexually assaulting him in his home. And in the following month, Dixon alleges that Perry offered him a series regular role in the Oval. Now, we do have a comment from Tyler Perry's attorneys saying that this individual appears to have been setting Tyler Perry up. They say that they are alleging this is a scam and saying, quote, Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. Now, we've also reached out to the attorney for Dixon, and he said that these allegations in the lawsuit stand for themselves. So just the very beginning of this process, but a lot of people are paying attention to this. Tyler Perry, quite successful, quite a bit of fame here, Tom.
Yeah, it will get a lot of attention. Stephen Romo, thank you.
NBC, everybody. Do you believe the allegations? Is this man attempting to set up Tyler Perry? Where I have the problem is the obvious. When you look at the timeline of when he met Tyler Perry offered him a role in a movie, then the sexual assault a year later. I mean, there's a sexual assault, and then you go and working for him in another movie. That makes no sense. Why would you be working for this man after he has allegedly sexually touched you, groped you, sent you text messages, whatever you're accusing him of? Why would you hang around? Many will say, well, this is the victim situation. They feel obligated to be around the perpetrator. Stockholm syndrome, falling in love with the perpetrator, so on and so forth. Sometimes you have to really think about that type of commentary, Stockholm syndrome, because this is not an issue of being kidnapped. So it might even be an insult to a kidnapped victim to say, well, you were working, trying to get work as an actor. Once a person violated you, why didn't you just bow out? You didn't have to go around the man. You definitely didn't have to live in his house. So let's get down to the logistics of these allegations. The Sun is the source. Tyler Perry has been sued by a fellow actor over sexual assault and harassment claims which span across several years. Derek Dixon has filed a serious lawsuit against the media mogul 55 after the pair worked together on The Oval, which was created by Perry back in 2019. Perry has been accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual battery, among other allegations. According to court documents seen by The Sun, his team have already denied all of the claims and labeled them a scam. Court docs filed on Friday in Los Angeles Superior Court claimed Dixon and Perry first met at an event back in 2019. Dixon alleges Perry handpicked him out of a crowd and asked for his phone number so he could get him an acting role. At this point, the California actor had not had a role in any major acting project. So where was this event where Tyler Perry saw him, allegedly, and picked him out of a crowd? I find that interesting. Shortly after the first conversation, the pair worked together in a show called Ruthless. After filming wrapped up, Dixon claims Perry invited him around to his Atlanta home. So now I have to ask, in 2019, was Tyler Perry in a relationship with a woman, a man, whomever? Why is he inviting this man to his home, number one? During the evening, Dixon says he became too drunk and asked to sleep in a spare room at Perry's home. This also makes no sense to me. You go to a man's house after meeting him, you get drunk, and you ask, can you sleep in a spare room? Why didn't you call an Uber, a Lyft, or how did you get there? See, I ask all the pertinent questions because I know in the information that you're not getting is where the truth lies. How did you, number one, get to Mr. Perry's house? Number two, you were the only two in the room drinking alone. What was the conversation like? What was his demeanor, Mr. Perry? Why are you wanting to sleep in this man's house after becoming inebriated? I'm just saying. You don't know him. You're not best friends. You want to sleep in a stranger's house after becoming inebriated. Make it make sense, everybody. The budding actor then alleges Perry followed him into the bed and started to touch his thighs, according to the court documents. Dixon rejected any advances but claims the director remained interested. Following the alleged incident, the pair would work together again a few months later when Dixon landed the role of Dale in The Oval. So, Mr. Perry is orchestrating and running his studio, meaning he is handpicking the actors, assumedly. So after this incident of you getting drunk in his house, his personal house, wanting to go lie down in a room, he goes in the room to touch you, but you tell him no. Next thing we know, months later, you're now on one of his new TV shows. Make it make sense. Why would you even want to continue working with him? And he allegedly made a pass at you in his home months beforehand. Perry would then begin to send sexually suggestive texts to Dixon, the court docs state. So now we're on to allegation number 2. You're now working on The Oval, and now he's sending you sexual texts. See, one thing begets another. Why would you even go work for him after the incident at the house? So we're going from house, drunk, you go lie down in the bed, he makes sexual advances. Months later, you're now working on a new show, and now he's sending you text messages. Make it make sense. These allegedly included him asking about his sexual preferences. So now we got Mr. Perry allegedly asking him, what is he like? Such as what? What did he ask you? Do you like men? Do you like straight sex, oral sex? What? Anal sex? What is he asking you? Dixon said he found the messages were strange and untowardly, but as he was new to the industry, didn't want to report them. Report them to whom? Authorities? Because that's the only person you can report them to. Unlike the crazy nonsense with Puff Daddy, everybody wanted to go run to Miss KK as if she could control Puff Daddy. I'm just saying. Dixon claims he feared his career would be over if he did voice his concerns at the time. Instead, the actor said he responded by saying he wasn't the sexual type. These sexually charged messages would continue on for years, Dixon alleges. So I don't understand your reply. He responded by saying he wasn't the, quoted, quotations, the sexual type, quote unquote. What the hell does that mean? The sexual type. What do you mean? You don't like sex? Or you weren't his type? So I don't understand what you're saying. You don't like men. You don't like black men. You didn't like sex at all. Help the queen understand. Exactly. These sexually charged messages, once again, went on for years. At one point, contact turned physical, according to the court documents, as Perry is accused of grabbing Dixon's throat. Then in June 2021, Dixon was again staying at Tyler's Atlanta home when he was allegedly groped. Dixon was staying in the guest house and wearing only underwear when he claims Tyler came into the room to say goodnight. Now, we have fast forward 2021, where it says, again, staying at Tyler's home. What are you doing in his house 2 years later from the original incident? Make it make sense. 19, 20, whatsoever. I think they said it meant 19. Then he went to work for him in 20. So why would you be back in his house a year or so later after you knew allegedly he made an advance towards you when you went to lie down in his house because you were drunk? He then started sending you text messages when you started working with him in one of his TV shows. And then you're claiming this went on for years, to sending of the text messages. And now you're staying in his guest house. So you mean to tell me Tyler Perry wasn't paying you enough money to rent an apartment or pay a mortgage for a house in Metro Atlanta, Georgia? I'm a lot of things, but I'm not dumb. This man is worth probably $1 billion himself, and I'm supposed to believe he can't pay the actors any money for the TV shows when we already know that people on TV make more money than movie stars. That's why a lot of movie stars now are on TV shows, because they pay more money. TV shows pay more money. You're filming a show 5 days a week. Stay woke, everybody. And you can't afford to go stay anywhere in Metro Atlanta. You can't rent an apartment. I don't believe that. June 2021, Dixon was again staying at Tyler's Atlanta home when he was allegedly groped. Dixon was staying in the guest house and wearing only underwear when he claims Tyler came in the room to say goodnight. The pair shared a hug before Perry allegedly pulled down Dixon's briefs, grabbed at his backside, and told him to relax. Wow. According to the suit, Dixon filed a complaint with Equal Employment and Opportunity Commission in June 2024. Very interesting. So now he's gone to the Equal Employment Office and Commission, which was last June. He would later quit the Oval as he stated he could no longer deal with the alleged sexual harassment. So now we got to ask, what is Tyler Perry's version of why Mr. Dixon no longer works for the TV show? And any other producer, director, actors, what would their versions be of the interaction between Derek and Tyler Perry? I'd like to know. Dixon is now suing Tyler and Tyler Perry Studios for quid pro quo over the accusations. He wrote in the suit, just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes, and many others in the industry, Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. He is seeking $260 million in damages. Wow, that's a lot of money. Are you charging per the year you worked at the Oval and Ruthless? I'm just curious. Matthew Boyd, the attorney for Perry, responded to the complaint in a statement to People. He said, this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. I dare not read the comments. Jay Lynn says, so you feel sexually harassed for 6 years, and you go spend the night his guest house and answer the door in underwear. This person can't write. If he's gay and you went there and kept spending the night, I think you're sending him a message because you knew he was interested in you. If he was sending you texts and spending the night at his house, he was caught fishing Perry. Then she goes down to say catfishing. This girl is dumb as a bag of rocks. Marty Stewart says, I guarantee you if somebody sexually assaulted me being an adult, I'm not going to wait 6 years or more to report it. I'm reporting right now. Then Isabel replies, take the case of Smokey Robinson. All of a sudden, he is also being sued for sexual harassment after all these years. Apparently, that woman has been asleep and just woke up to remember that Smokey harassed her. Just disgusting and pitiful that people have to reset to this type of behavior to make money. Makes no sense. Is this what desperation looks like? Then Bonita replies, that's what you are saying now. These comments, some people say, are the reasons victims stay silent. They get treated like they do assault or they are lying. Jesus Christ, I'm not reading no more. These people can't even speak English. Anywho, are the allegations true? Mr. Perry, you're denying the allegations. Have you been sexually harassing, essaying your actors in your TV shows? Plays. They're also saying that other people are coming forward. Who are they? How many people will be seeking damages against Mr. Tyler Perry? And once again, is this allegation true? And the allegations of the forthcoming people, are they true? I always suspected that there would be some nonsense with Tyler Perry when some black people were making rumors about him being gay, homosexual. I don't know if it's because he played Medea all them years. Some people just assume he was gay, dressing up as a woman in a wig. Flip Wilson did it back in the 70s on a TV show. So I'm not going to necessarily a man dressing up in a wig and makeup means he's gay. But some people did assume that Tyler Perry was gay. As I told you, I had my aha moment during the movie Why Did I Get Married? It just hit me like a ton of bricks during that one scene. And the clothing he had on, it's just something rubbed me the wrong way. And usually when I get a feeling about something, rarely am I wrong. Because it's just an odd situation to just be watching a movie and then all of a sudden it came to me and I just said, this man's gay. Just like years ago when I was watching Arsenio Hall, the black guy from In the Heat of the Night, he walked out on stage in a white suit. And I automatically said to myself then, as a young person, I was a young woman then, I said, this black man is gay. It's just kind of like that twirl moment where he walked out, he sashayed, and I looked at him and I said, this ain't no straight man. And then we later learned that that black guy was a gay man. So, Mr. Perry, are you gay? Or have you been hiding behind women, children, and wanting people to assume that you are heterosexual and you are not? Because possibly that's what's been going on with Mr. Perry. He did not want to come out gay. He did not want to be known as a gay man. He knows the stigma that comes with being a black gay man. Maybe he had been fighting being gay, bisexual, whatsoever. As I said, I'm not here to say that he's gay. I'm just asking the question. Is he gay? If he is gay, why not just come out, be done with it? You could have came out a long time ago, lived your truth, lived your life. It is what it is. Because many people, as I said, suspected that he is gay. So now, boom, 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 fast forward many years later, he's been in the game. He's very wealthy. You now have allegations from a white man saying you've been touching, groping him, sending him text messages, blah, blah, blah. But as one commenter said, why are you waiting all these years to say something? And we get it. A lot of people don't want to say anything because they know some people won't believe them. You got to have proof. Well, you should have proof. You got text messages. And then you're getting a role. He handpicked you out of the audience, gave you the phone number, blah, blah, blah. You probably felt special. But then once you started getting the text messages after the incident at his house, after you got drunk at his house, you should have known better then. A very wealthy man has invited you to his home. You two are drinking, getting drunk. You had to sense something wasn't right with Mr. Perry during that visit before you got drunk. Or are you telling me he waited until you got drunk and then he started saying or doing something? I don't know because I wasn't there. But you say you went and lied down and then he came into the room. See, I would have never slept in a stranger's house inebriated like that. You have to use your head. And like I said, we all make mistakes as people, entanglements with people, going to people's homes. One thing leads to another, sex, blah, blah, blah. But as my aunt once said many years ago about inviting someone to your house, whether you know the person, know of them, first time encounter, first time visiting, doesn't matter. When the door is closed, all bets are off. Let me make that clear. You cannot assume somebody's going to play fair once you invite them into your house or you go into their house, hotel, Airbnb, wherever, in their car. It's all the same. You don't know people. And this man going into a strange man's house, whether it was Tyler Perry or not, when you saw yourself getting woozy, you should have left. Hey, I'm going to excuse myself. Thank you for a good time, but I got to go home. I've had too much to drink. Why in the hell would you want to go lie down in a man's house? Now, I'm going to ask you, are you gay, Mr. Dixon? Are we going to find out that you're a homosexual, bisexual man? Just saying. The fact that you responded to him in text, I'm not the sexual type. I don't even know what the hell that means. When he asked you what your sexual preferences are. So I don't know what you meant by that response. Were you trying to say you were abstinent? You were not wanting to have sex with anyone? Sex wasn't on your agenda? What does that mean exactly? I got a feeling that Tyler Perry possibly is homosexual. He handpicked this guy out of the crowd because he piqued his interest. Word that day, perhaps. We'll say perhaps. And he gave him his number. One thing led to another, him coming to his house. Perhaps they had sex or some type of entanglement. He then hired him for the Oval Office, other roles. And over the years, they've been touchy-feely, sending each other notes, messages. And then one day he looked up and decided to sue Tyler Perry. Because see, in the end, you don't really know what the hell is going on behind closed doors. And as we have seen with Sean Puffy Combs, he hires people and also screws them. He befriends people knowing they were friends with somebody he's dating. and texting Jane Doe on the low, and next thing you know, they start screwing. So see, you really don't know what's going on, and you can't assume. Just like one person that commented under this article, I can't believe this. I've got to have some type of proof. Proof like what? You got to see Tyler Perry data from his phone that he's making these innuendos toward this man. Sexual conversations. What do you want? A video of him touching him, groping him, or penetrating him? Just asking. Because some people get proof and it's still not enough. If Tyler Perry is gay, I don't care. That's his business. Where I have the problem, you misleading people such as women, that's a problem. Because you need to be your true, authentic self if you know you like men and you know you like women. Number two, you don't have any business sexually harassing your staff members and strangers. People are dealing with you by faith and hoping that you're going to do right by them. People are looking up to you. People are wanting jobs. A lot of people are breaking their necks to get down to Atlanta just so they can get a role, going to the studio, taking their portfolio. There's people who really are thirsty and hungry and they want to be in this game, such as myself. But I'm not willing to sell my soul to the devil for a role in a movie or anything else. And I'm definitely not getting ready to go back to the producer's, director's house alone. Because right now, let's just say I went and auditioned for a movie. I got the role. The director or the producer says, hey, I'm having a party. First thing I'm going to ask, who's all going to be there? Because I'm not trying to be the main event, if you understand what I'm saying. Oh, we're going to have quite a few people. What's a few? 50, 100, what? Oh, yeah, it's going to be a couple of hundred. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll be there. And I'm going to make sure I got a way to and a way back. Ain't no taking no taxi cabs and Uber and all that. I'm driving my own damn car. And if I think it might be some fuddy-duddy, SHIT, I'm going to bring a +1 and I'm going to ask you, do you mind if I bring a +1? And I'll wait for a response. See, that's how you handle that. But going along with a man to his house and you a man, I just don't think that's a good idea. For the obvious reasons. So then I got to ask that too. Did he know and hear about the rumors that Tyler Perry was gay? Whether he had a woman, a child, or whatever. Because I don't know if the man was married at the time, 2019. But he did marry a woman years ago and had a kid. So you have to ask all those questions. Because see, we don't know Mr. Perry. We don't know Mr. Dixon. We don't know if this is a scam to try to get this money out this man. $260 million is a lot of money. You'll never get $260 million out of anybody. I doubt that. I doubt that. So now we got to see if the district attorney can pull up records to show Mr. Perry enticing this man, asking for favors, so on and so forth to bring forward a case. We'll have to see. But in the end, the lawyer will say, well, okay, he's gay, bisexual. He liked what he liked. He sent the messages. So what? Prove that he touched him inappropriately. Prove that he essayed him. Battery, rape, whatever. Got to prove it. And that's where your problem's going to come. But I'll tell you what, this guy messed up. Going to the house, spending the night when he got drunk, then going to work for him on the TV show, and allowing himself to get these messages over the years, and then going to live in his guest house. How are you going to claim sexual battery, sexual harassment when you were getting letters, notes through the years, and then you went and stayed in his house? That makes no fucking sense. As I said before, you set the stage by going in the man's bedroom to sleep. Number one, when you should have took your ass home. Number two, you went to work for him shortly after, months later, and started getting these alleged text messages that were inappropriate. You should have said something then. You should have went to the Equal Opportunity Office then. You continued to work on another show. Excuse me. So if you went to his house one time and got drunk, months later, you're getting messages. Then you go live in his house. How do I know what else you've been doing with this man? See, this doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not going to go stay in your house and you've been sending me sexual notes on my phone. What the fuck do I look like staying in your house, your guest house? And then let's look at this and then we'll check out of here. Tyler Perry has produced many TV shows over the years, plus his plays and the movies with Madea. How many people can say, out of all of the people that have worked with Tyler Perry, he allowed me to stay in his guest house. He allowed me to stay in a spare room. I'll wait. I've never heard one person say they stayed in Tyler Perry's house for a duration. They stayed in his guest house for a duration. You white man pop up out of nowhere and say, yeah, I stayed in his house and he been sexually harassing me the whole time. While I'm on the show, sending me messages. Oh, and I went to live with him. And he comes in my room and I'm half dressed and blah, blah, blah. This don't even sound right. And see, this is what people don't think about when they spin these stories. The fact that you kept going back in. Because in the end, Tyler Perry is a stranger to you. You are a stranger to him. When you had a bad feeling about him day one, you should have sought work elsewhere. Tyler Perry is not the only person making movies in Hollywood and Atlanta. Yes, many movies are filmed in Georgia now because it's cheaper to film there. That's why they're filming there. But the point is, there are too many movie houses making movies. So, best you go hook up with Tubi, Netflix, Freevee. You get my drift? They're filming movies down there all day long. You could have done some modeling, voiceovers, anything. You saw what was going on with this man. He's acting frisky. He's wanting to meet up, hook up, send messages. You should have kindly told him, sir, I'm not interested. I came here to work, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. And if you had any sense with the messages and text messages, you could have easily went to the unemployment office or this equal opportunity office and filed a suit. Or you could have went and hired you a lawyer and showed the lawyer the text messages and showed them this is what this man's been doing while I'm trying to work and I can't work cohesively because he keeps harassing me. I do believe Mr. Perry would have probably settled a suit with you in private, asked you to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and then you would have moved on happily ever after. But you didn't do that. You're coming out now with all this bullshit years later, and now you want to sue for almost $300 million. You're not going to get $300 million. I'm going to tell you that now. And if Tyler Perry settles the suit, many people are going to think that he's guilty because that's just how people are. It's what they think. Well, why settle? There's no truth to it. But I can tell you what, if there's one response from Mr. Perry asking you for any sexual favors, asking you what your preferences are, hell yeah, that makes him look really, really bad. Really, really bad. And then what's going to be fucked up, he was in a relationship and or married at the time. So that's what I want to know. When he first went to his house and spent the night, was Tyler Perry married and with children or in a relationship? Number two, when Mr. Derrick went to live in the guest house, was Tyler Perry in a relationship or married? And that's still not to say he didn't have homosexual ways, tendencies, because he had a woman there. But you understand what I'm saying? It'll look good in his favor to say, well, I had a mate here. I had a woman or wife. I was just being kind to him. But then the flip side is you're paying this guy enough money, or you should be paying him enough money to where he can rent his own space. Because as I said, Tyler Perry has worked with a lot of people over the years. And to my understanding, I've not heard that any of these people are homeless. And naturally, they should be making enough money to rent them an apartment or a house. That's my commentary, everybody. Going to bring you an update as I get it. Also, Mr. Brashear Gray, former actor of the Empire, he's been charged with assault in Chesapeake, Virginia. Something about leaving a hotel without paying. There was an altercation. The guy was filming him. One thing led to another. And then there was some black guy in the car. He seemed to be of a homosexual nature. Not to be rude, but just saying, he seemed quite feminine. He says he's like a brother to him, blah, 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 or he's like a brother to him, and that he's going through some mental crisis. And I'm going to say, what was his mental crisis years ago when he beat up some girl? Yeah, I'm going to say that. I think he's violent. He just likes to fight people. I don't know who you are and why you're speaking on his behalf. And people probably going to question that as well, because I thought that was a bit odd. This guy's just sitting in a car. I thought maybe he was a lawyer or something. And he just says, oh, no, he's like a brother to me, and he's just going through something. And I thought to myself, God, I hope he's not dating you, because we've heard all type of the crazy rumors dealing with Justice Smollett in that show, and I don't know what to say. But anyway, I just thought it was weird, this guy sitting in a car, and he seemed a little bit feminine, speaking on his behalf. And I thought, now, where is this going? Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But Bryce Gray, charged with assault, out on bond, $5,500. And I will bring you a continued update pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. Brendan Paul is supposed to testify today. This is the drug mule, the one who was arrested with the drugs on the private jet last year. And also, he was also a personal assistant to Sean. Obviously, he's been given an immunity deal, plea deal by the government. He finished his diversion program in December of 2024. So long as he didn't get any trouble, his record would be expunged. 6-month diversion, judicial diversion for the drug charge. What are we going to hear from Brendan Paul? His dealings with Sean, procuring drugs for Sean. What else is he going to tell us? Next live stream is pertaining to Brian C. Kohlberger. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on the Newsbreak app. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Miss Beauty, for joining me. You all have a wonderful week. I will put up another movie choice for this week, because the one I put up with the Wakefield, that was a weird movie, and I actually got bored trying to finish that movie yesterday. And I got another one for you. It's called You're Killing Me. Woo, boy, what is that a doozy? I think some of you might like that. For my horror fans, my thriller fans, I think you will enjoy this one. Pertaining to a young lady who's trying to get into this university. She goes to this party to try to win favor with this young guy who's very wealthy. She wants his father to give her a recommendation so she can get into this prestigious university. And all hell breaks loose when she and her friend go to this party. Woo. And when I say hell break loose, I'm putting it mildly. It's a doozy. So that's my suggestion for this week as well. You're Killing Me. I will post it to my community page after this live stream. I'm also going to put up another short pertaining to this Tyler Perry nonsense. And then I'm going to read the post right fast before I check out of here pertaining to R. Kelly and the latest events. So let's see what we have here. Lordy me. I asked you all about Mr. Kohlberger at the King Road home. Do you believe the DoorDash driver saw him there? 62% yes, 15% no, 23% of you said you're not sure. Tyler Perry is being sued for $260 million by actor Derek Dixon for SA. Allegedly, other actors are making the same claim. Is it true? 35% yes, 12% no. 47% of you said you're not sure. 6% of you said they were intimate, and now Derek is retaliating. Wow, wow, wow. Once again, the manhunt continues for Mr. Travis Decker. I put an update on my community page if you want to check out that video. R. Kelly admitted to the hospital last week for blood clots, overdose. He was not able to get care because guards rushed him out of there back to solitary confinement at the North Carolina prison. He's also asking help from Donald Trump. Do you believe the staff members tried to unalive Robert Kelly? 21% yes, 37% no, 37% not sure, 5% of you said the nurse made a mistake. 1 comment. Well, it's not there. That's the latest. That is the latest, everybody. Now, Wednesday, day 26 for the Sean Puffy Combs trial. What will the verdict be? I also asked you all about KK. Should she be indicted? 80% yes, 3% no, 17% not sure. Is she a co-conspirator alongside Puffy? 90% said yes. Wow, that's 10% more than the last question. 5% said no, 5% not sure. So 90% of you said she's a co-conspirator, and then only 80% of you said she should be indicted. Very interesting. Should the black male juror have been removed from this case? Because the judge felt like he was not candid about his actual address, whether he lived in New York or New Jersey. 23% of you said yes. 60% of you said no. 17% of you not sure. Now, the defense may seek a third mistrial over this black male juror being removed. Should it be granted? 2% yes. 93% no. Not sure, 4%. Another juror craziness. Male juror was sent a text from unknown number asking him if he was juror number 6. He reported it to the judge. No update as of yet to the findings of this message or sender. And as I said before during my earlier commentary, the judge has issued a strict warning to the attorneys that he will bring forward an investigation if he finds out that any of them leaks any personal information from their meetings and court proceedings, because an article has been written about what happened in court last week. So that means somebody has gone out and told personal information from the court proceedings. And I think I already asked you all again about the black man being removed, juror number 6. Should the judge have removed him? 67% yes, 17% no, 17% not sure. I think I wrote that down 2 times, that question. Sorry about that. That's the latest, everybody. Next live, Brian Korberger. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.